about Simon from the side men that led you to truly fall in love with him?
I never talk about this kind of thing. We spoke the whole party. I think we went to sleep at 8 a.m.
So then the wedding.
Second best day ever.
Second best day ever. What is best day ever?
Hey guys, it's Talia. Welcome back to my channel.
I wanted to quit my job to do YouTube and music. All I did was that I didn't eat, I didn't sleep, I didn't speak. My first ever paycheck was like £1, and I was so excited. But then I was diagnosed with anorexia, and people would say I looked ill. That would really incentivize me. I'd be like, brilliant. That means it's working. That's when something.
Am I muted? Oh my God, I did not know I was muted that entire time, but welcome in. Okay, we are watching the young Talia on the We Need to Talk channel. Make sure you guys go like, subscribe, all that, check them out, hit the gangy, okay? Oh my God. But I was talking about anorexia, and I was like, dang, I did not know that was something that like you could get diagnosed with, you know what I'm saying? I thought that was just something that like, you know what I'm saying? It was just like there as like a label for like whatever you like. I don't know. I guess now I gotta rethink what I think a diagnosis is. No idea. Now that I'm really like throwing that out there, you know what I'm saying? See, this is why we need to talk. You know what I'm saying? See? We really locked in. Okay, but listen though. So like, yeah, I just thought, you know what I'm saying, that was something they gave you type shit. But oh my God, this is so cute. They talked all night type shit. That's so fire. That's so fire. I feel like that's what you like really want. You know what I'm saying? Like I be dreaming for those moments. But like low key is kind of crazy because like I love, right? I've met some like really great people in my life where like, holy shit, like it just felt like everything was just like clicking and everything was so great. And then we just like fall out and like shit just doesn't really go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? But I've also met some people where it's like, holy shit, that first day I was kind of like, I don't know. Like it didn't really like, I don't know what was really going on there. You know what I'm saying? But then the settings switched up. You know what I'm saying? Time change. Boom, boom, boom. And shit was lit. And we were really locked in type shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It was really different. But yeah, let's get locked in. But like I said, I was saying at the beginning when I was muted, hella people were telling me this was a must watch. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you go over there, like, subscribe, all that. Type. Pull up. Okay? Thank you.
Just clicked. What am I doing?
The world now knows you and Simon from the Sidemen are together.
People were horrible. In my DMs, I hope you die.
And how did Simon embrace your autism?
It was one of the things he...
All right, we're fucking locking in here. Jesus Christ. Okay. All right. I low key, I feel like I was going in here differently at first. We're locking in now. My bad. I wasn't locked.
He likes about me. How autism is presented in the media is not how I am. I think people forget that it's a spectrum. It presents differently in women.
You've got the husband, the career, the child. How does that make you feel?
Fuck. Oh my God, this is going to be amazing.
Before we dive in, a quick shout out to you for being here. If you're enjoying what we're doing, subscribing is an easy way to get notified when new episodes drop. It's totally free. By hitting that button, you'll be helping us grow this amazing community. Thanks again. Now let's welcome our next guest.
Is that really his fucking voice?
Can we talk about where you grew up?
Yeah.
So where did you grow up?
So I grew up in South London.
Okay.
But Sutton is more my
You know what I'm
guess
saying?
my
Me and the
hometown.
honeys, we used to ball in satin.
We have to stop for a
I
second.
was about to say, I know.
I'm gonna say,
Yeah.
can we stop?
Yeah.
Can we give praise to Sutton right now?
I was just saying, I saw that Sutton United, right?
That's right.
So rogue. So rogue. I saw that
He's
and I was
from
like,
Sutton
there is
too?
no way. Sutton of all places. Like, no one knows Sutton. That is wild.
Isn't that wild? I invite you down
Thanks.
to the mighty Sutton United.
Yeah.
So we share this. I'm in
Yeah.
Sutton all the time now.
That is so rogue. Like, honestly, I don't think I understand how bizarre that is for me, considering you're from America. So it's like Sutton of all places.
It's
But yeah,
wild. It's
that's my
wild.
background.
But
Damn.
can we talk about the household and growing up? So what was love?
Oh my gosh.
What did that feel like
That is so deep.
as a child?
I had a very friendship kind of relationship with everyone in my household in a good way, where like it was a very open line of communication. Like I knew what my parents were doing, they knew what I was doing, and I think that to me was what a family unit is just like saying it as it is, being brutally honest and just keeping lines of communication open. I genuinely, hand on my heart, can't think of a time that I've lied to my parents.
Aww.
It was a nice way of communicating and it made the house feel quite free.
Yes. Can I
He
say,
got on there. Part
I
of
love
ownership.
that actually.
Gotcha.
I think one of the biggest myths that parents perpetuate is when there's conflict,
Yeah.
hide
You
that
should have
from
been a
their
real
child.
nigga, got part
Also, you
ownership.
see
and
things. If they argue, you see it, you hear it. Like,
Right.
you can't hide it from a kid. Like, kids know.
Kids know. They always know.
They always know.
They
So
always know.
sometimes talking about it is like, actually, well, we know you know, and now you understand it a bit better.
Right. And you get a chance to see how do they deal with the conflict.
Yeah.
And the fact that they had conflict, but then they're still together.
Still fixed
Yeah.
shit.
And so it teaches children conflict resolution skills.
Yeah.
So from that standpoint, it's great. Do you feel like culture played a role? Because I know that you have Italian heritage as well. So did
Yes.
yeah, oh yes.
Italians, there is no secrets. Like, very loud, very honest, sometimes to a fault. Like my mum's side of the family, my mum's the Italian one, we are all very, very close. Like my cousins are more like my sisters. So everyone is very close. Everyone knows everyone's business. So yeah, everyone's open.
Okay. And also I would imagine, so open household, kind of loud household, all right? Were your parents musicians or in music?
My dad was a drummer.
Dad, okay.
I mean, my mum can sing. She wasn't necessarily a musician, but like we had a karaoke machine. We would sing together, and I would sing at bedtime with my dad. Like that was always part of my routine growing up. It was get into bed, sing a song, go to sleep.
All right. So music was a part of the household.
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of music was in the household early on?
Mostly R&B and hip hop. That's all my parents listened to really. A little bit of like Motown and soul.
Damn, they was getting
Can I just-
jiggy.
one thing.
They
gotta
was
give it up
getting
for Mom and Dad.
jiggy type shit.
Honestly, I'm so
They
grateful
was
for the
putting
music
her
they brought me
on.
up on.
Motown, R&B, come on now.
Yeah.
They did it right.
They did.
So the love of music that you had, that came early
Yeah. From the get-go.
from the get-go.
From the get-go. I didn't have a choice in that. That was drilled into me from day one.
Okay. But now what about music was drilled in? Were you thinking singing, producing, dancing, all the above?
From day one, I was always singing was just something I loved doing. Like I don't remember a time where I didn't sing. Like my mum used to stop me. Like there was this time she said I was walking in one of the supermarkets and I just stopped and I just started singing at people and she'd have to be like, babe, that's not normal. But I'd stand until people stopped and listened to
She
me.
was
I'd
the
be like,
yodeling
"You will hear
kid
me
in
sing." I was
Walmart?
4. Like it's enough, Talia.
Wow.
Oh, yo,
But yeah, I think it was singing that started it, and then
I just used to throw people
as I
in
got older,
stores.
my karaoke machine broke. So I was like, how am I going to sing if I don't play an instrument? So I found an
Tight
old
shit,
guitar
tight
from
shit, tight
Argos
shit.
in our attic that had 3 strings. And I sat there and I just looked on YouTube, looked online, and I just learned. And all I did was play the guitar until I could play it.
Oh, really? So you taught yourself?
Yeah. Yeah, because I was like, how else am I going to sing? If I don't have music, my karaoke machine's broken, I'm screwed.
Right.
So that just made sense to me. And then from there, I learned guitar, and then I picked up the piano.
At 13, were you already thinking, I want to have a career in music? Or, yes.
Oh, 100%.
Damn.
Was it, I want to have a career, or I want to be a star?
Like a
No, it was I want to
superstar.
have a career in music. My goal was to be an artist and to like tour the world and be able to sing my own songs that I've written. But I always said if whether it means whether I'm singing on a boat, whether I'm singing at a wedding, whether I'm writing songs for other people, like I just want music to be
The focus.
my
the driver.
life and the my
catalyst.
source of
Is that
income
what that's
and
called?
what my career is.
And is that what led you to the Brit School?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you brag on the Brit School a little bit? I'm sure this will be easy for you, but can you brag on the school a little?
I loved my time at Brit. Like,
Okay.
I remember I begged my mum to go, but I thought it was a paid for.
I be hearing about this shit. What is this? What is the Brit School? Performing Arts. Oh, Croydon. Oh, it's like one of those like what do you call them? Like High School Musical type shits. Like a performing arts college type shit.
I thought it was a private school. So my mum was like, absolutely not. Like, we cannot afford private school. There's no way. And then she looked into it and she was like, actually, Talia, you know, it's free. Like, you just have to audition and you just have to get a place.
Damn.
And it was honestly
But you had to
my first
audition,
day
though.
there,
That's
I got my
lit.
schedule and it was music recording.
Damn, so she passed the
performance
audition?
studies, ethnomusicology. And I was like, oh my God, every lesson is music. And I sat there and I cried. Like, I just could not believe that it was
That's
a
dope as
real
fuck.
thing. So I have nothing but good words to say about that school.
Well, it sounds like you didn't feel safe in the school environment
No.
prior.
That's super
What was
cool.
it about the school environment prior?
I went to a grammar school, an all-girls grammar school, so it was very
Oh,
academic,
girls too. Fuck.
very intelligence-focused. Even my music teacher said to me, our first day, he said, obviously none of you are going to actually have a job in music.
Damn.
I was like, what? How are you starting with this? Like, technically you have a job in music. What do you mean? Like, what? And I was like, well, this is a good start.
But then you also mentioned you were severely
Yeah.
bullied.
It was quite bad. I mean, my yearbook is defaced with like people wrote things over my face on my own yearbook. I
damn.
got invited to a party, told it was fancy dress, was not.
Wow.
Turned up as Lady Gaga. That was fun.
Wow.
I always say I was movie bullied. Like, you know what they do in like the American movies where like people, like my guitar got broken, where I did like shoved in school lockers. Like it was that kind of thing.
God damn, Danny Aarons.
Why do you think that's the case? I mean, clearly, children are bullied and adults are also bullied for a variety of reasons. What do you think the reasons were that you were bullied?
I think people are, especially kids, they're really unhappy when they don't know what they want to do and someone else does know what they want to do. I probably came across as having a level of confidence that one, I didn't have, and two, they definitely didn't have, because everyone knew I wanted to be a singer, I wanted to do this, and I think everyone at school was like, I don't know what I want to do, and it was probably just a way of being like,
she was a right
just shut
little
her up,
cunt,
like,
man.
that's
She was a
enough. Also, I
little,
was
she
a
was a
little bit weird.
goddamn,
I definitely didn't
she was a little
present myself in the way
asshole.
that
That's what it
everyone
sounded
else
like. It
did.
sounded like she was a
I
little,
made myself
little
somewhat of an
goddamn
easy
butthole.
target.
Okay.
She was out here like,
How did you
oh,
present yourself?
you guys don't know if you want to go to Yale? I know that I'm going to Yale. You fucking idiots. You should know by now what you want to be when you get older. I already know what I knew at 13 what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a star. I'm totally kidding. Totally kidding. I'm sorry. I'm not. I'm just, it's a joke. We're joking. Okay, I'm sorry.
I struggled with like eye contact, talking to people
Wrong time.
like openly.
I shouldn't have did that.
I ticked. I had tics at school. Like I had vocal tics. And people would be like, why? Stop doing that. Like, why are you making that noise? I'm like, oh my God, they noticed. Like in my head, I was like, no
Oh,
one's going to
fuck,
notice. It's
that
under my
sucks.
breath. Like I did everything I could to control it, but I just could not stop. And I think people, they just thought, oh, she's weird.
See, that kind of shit be sucking, bro. Because I'd be like, there are times where I'm like, oh God, dude, like I'm perfectly normal. You know what I mean? I don't have none of that shit going on, and I'll still be like, fuck, I hate my life. So imagine some dumb shit like that. Imagine like you actually like, or like people who stutter, like you got shit.
Lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God, stop fucking lying.
Okay, so these are the children saying this.
Yeah.
Did you have any friends among that social circle?
So I had, no, I had like moments where I had
Just be trying
friends
to
or I
open up
had
with the
someone who
homies.
like would call me their friend, and then it would kind of go downhill for various reasons or whatever. And I had a group that was supposed to be my friendship group, but those were the ones that wrote stuff on my yearbook. So I don't know if I would class them as really good friends.
Yeah.
Damn,
So how do you think that
people ain't shit, bro.
impacted how you showed up at that time?
I think I
Every
just
day.
got better at masking, and like fake it till you make it has been my
See, I think this got to be like a real. Never mind, that was a horrible point.
favorite saying, phrase, quote, whatever you want to call it, my whole life. And
Interesting.
the older I get, the more I believe it and the more I hone in to that like one saying. And I think that's probably what really, really triggered it.
So that's why when you just mentioned you showed up looking like you were confident.
Yeah.
And like, but that was an act.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, I definitely have confidence in areas and like I can be really confident. But I think it comes from a place of, well, if I'm not confident, this isn't going to go well. So I'll fake it. And then sometimes it slips into real confidence and you have a moment where you're like, okay, I think I got this. And then you might return to planet Earth.
Okay. So if you were to give 11-year-old Talia advice who's in that environment that she hates, what advice would you give her?
Do you know what? I don't know if I would. I don't know if I would give her advice. Like, because I think, and that sounds horrible, but I think one, I wouldn't have listened to it because I was so set on the way that I was doing things. And two, it worked at the time. And I think I came out pretty unscathed considering. And I think if I said something to her, I might change the course of everything.
Are you saying she wasn't fine then?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I don't know what I would say to her. Sorry.
No?
Sorry.
But this is what I find interesting. She wasn't fine then.
Yeah.
What would have made her fine?
People being nice to her. I'd speak to them.
You speak to them.
I'd speak to them. I'd be like, look, it's enough. She's having a hard day.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there's anything I could have said to me that would have made it better. I really don't know.
Okay, this is fair. This is fair. So at that time, despite everything that was happening, you still wanted to pursue music.
Yeah.
That was your North Star.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. And now I could see when you got into the Brit school why you're so euphoric.
Oh my God, it was literally the best day ever.
Now it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now
Was everybody
it
more
definitely
inviting?
makes sense.
Yeah.
So you get into this safe space where music is a career, but then also I would imagine your social circle changes.
Yeah.
Okay. And how so?
So I ended up
Aaron.
having a friend
I'll send you
who
to
was like my
counseling,
best
nigga.
friend. And that was the first time I'd ever experienced having like a best friend. And it wasn't like a toxic friendship. So it was really nice. It was such a break from what I'd experienced before.
Yes. How old were you when you had your
16.
16?
Yeah.
So at 16, you get your first best friend.
Yeah.
The
All right.
breakthrough.
At 16, had you had any romantic relationships yet?
Very, very no.
Very no.
Very no. I was terrified of that.
Very no.
Very no. It just didn't make sense to me.
Damn, so
It
it ain't even.
just didn't. I never wanted to get married. I never wanted to have kids. Hilarious, sat here now. But like, it was just never on my radar.
Was it because everybody was
So
such a
what was
asshole?
fun for you
Or like,
then
what? Because
at 16?
Oh well,
Writing
that was.
songs,
What age do
producing,
y'all?
that's literally all I did.
When the fuck did you, so y'all niggas go to university? Uni is 16. Nah, it's fucking crazy, dude. America is behind, dude. America is behind, dude. That is insane. That is insane, dude. Oh, college. What the fuck? See, y'all, I don't think y'all even know what y'all talking about. You're not even saying. You can stay in high school till 18 too. Is that only if you're a dumbass? Like, you stay in high school in America until you're 18 or 17, depending on your birthday, no matter what. No, just if you want to. It's not, it's like a choice. You can test out of school at like 16 type shit. Like, you could be like, there's people who have like graduated college at the age of 16. You know what I mean? Shit like that. So it's like, you can like test up for sure. But like the normal person, like a normal person, you're going to high school, your senior year, you're going to be like 17 or 18. And then you're going to go to college from there, graduate college by like 22, 21. And like college is university. And then after university, you got grad school. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. I was at college at 16 doing bricklaying. What the fuck? They do trades and apprenticeship. Damn, Chloe, you just gonna shit on Mark like that? Nah, that's crazy. But people stay to get good grades for uni until 18. Yo, Mark, honestly, I wouldn't take that, bro. Like, the fact that she just came for you like that was insane, bro. Like, right after what you said, bro said I was at college at 16 doing bricklaying. And then Chloe said, nah, dumbass niggas that do trades and apprenticeships. What would you call bricklaying, chat? That's crazy, man. I already got all my qualifications, bro. It's crazy, honestly. I wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't stand for that, for real. That's crazy work.
With my spare time, I sat in my room and I learned Logic on my computer. I'd learn a new chord, I'd learn a new riff or whatever, and I'd sit and I would play until my hands bled and sing until I fell asleep.
Wow, you were focused.
Is all I did.
Yeah, you were focused.
Very.
How did you believe you were going to take this passion for music and create a career out of it?
So my first thought was the internet and YouTube. And I didn't know how necessarily at that point, because I'd started a channel when I was at my previous school and got shock horror, picked on for it, deleted all my videos because it was just too mortifying. And at that point, I couldn't hack it. I couldn't hack the
Oh, because I guess once people started finding out about it, yeah, people are disgusting.
I was like, actually, maybe I can start this up again, and you know, maybe I've got the confidence here because everyone here, no one here is going to laugh at me. You want to do the same thing,
right?
So the internet was my first thought. I was like, that's going to be the way that I want to do it because I know I want control. I know what kind of music I like. I know what kind of music I want to do, and if I pursue anything, label or that route, I know that I don't have enough of a presence to control anything right now.
Okay.
So I started uploading to YouTube.
This is interesting. So your thought was, I'm going to upload to YouTube and create a presence.
Yeah.
So in other words, do I read presence myself by saying you wanted to create a brand?
Yeah.
To give you power.
Yeah.
Tight shit.
And I posted non-music content. And then I had a tweet go viral when I was 18, I think, 19.
Okay.
That was a makeup tweet. And I thought, this is my in. I'm going to post makeup tutorials on YouTube. I've got a little bit of traction. I'm just going to run with it.
Run with makeup?
Yeah.
So your thought was, I'm going to build an audience.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to build an audience.
Yeah.
And was the idea, I'm going to build an audience so that I can then do music at a certain point? Or was it, I'm just going to build an audience?
It was with music. So I was technically releasing music the whole time.
Okay.
So my channel was called Talia Music, uploading my makeup tutorials.
Okay.
And I released my first single at the same time as this tweet kind of going off and like everything starting to have a bit of traction.
Damn.
I think this was 2016.
And
so it's like literally a tweet.
I thought, okay, this is
like
is
one
the path.
tweet was like,
I
"Hey, what's good? We locked."
But this is the
What
way
up,
I'm gonna
VL?
do it, and we'll just figure it out.
All right. So how methodical were you when you realized that makeup tutorials were getting traction?
Very, very thought out. Like whatever was trending, I was doing Kylie Jenner looks. I was doing whoever at the time was big on makeup. That was the look I'd do. And because I was a makeup artist by trade, that was my job as well.
Okay.
So as soon as my interest outside of makeup started to change as well, I then started introducing that into my channel, which is where gaming then started coming in, and like more vlogs, like
started being a
started
shooter.
Because I thought people need to get to know me
Talia a shooter,
outside of just a tutorial. Now it needs to be personality based, and like it was so thought out. Like it makes me sound a little bit crazy, but like I was really like focused on like, okay, this is the way that I'm gonna get my music heard. This is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. You know, I can't say it sounds crazy. It sounds strategic.
Very strategic.
You know, we had Dan TDM, and what I will never forget was how strategic he was about, I'm going to post at this time every day, and this is the content, and he was relentless with it, right? So it sounds like it was the same for you.
Yeah.
How did you know that you were headed in the right direction, though, on YouTube?
To be honest, I didn't. I love analytics. I'm a big fan of like statistics and all the back end of YouTube.
fucking hate
and all
statistics.
Of that. So anytime a video did well, I'd look, you know, where was the spike in retention? Where did the retention drop off? How long's this video been watched for? Okay, then that's how long my video should be. And, you know, videos with this in the title do better, or this videos with this in the title don't do as well, so maybe I don't phrase it like that. And so I just kind of hoped for the best and thought, this is working for now, we'll just go with this. And every now and again you try something new. If it works, brilliant, carry on. Okay.
And that's how you rolled in games as well. Literally, you were just, I would assume that's something that you did on your own.
Yeah. At the time I had a real issue with feeling non-productive if I wasn't putting time into what I thought could be a career. So when I was playing games, I felt awful about it. I felt every time I'd finish playing, I'd be like, oh my God, I've wasted my day, I've wasted my life. And I don't have that opinion anymore. But at that time, it's why I started my gaming channel, because I thought, well, if I start a gaming channel, then I'm working towards something. And like, I still get to pursue a hobby, but like, it could potentially turn into something that is, you know, monetizable, could become a career, can help with music. And then that ended up shifting and being the thing that kind of worked the most.
Okay.
Yo, do any of you guys know if Talia has songs inside of a game? Has that happened yet?
Interesting. When was your first monetization from YouTube?
Can tell that you don't like statistics, the specific stat that you are 4'3". You know what, Aaron? Honestly, bro, I wish you and your family nothing but happiness. You know what I'm saying? And success. And maybe or may not be the next time you guys decide to go out on a group outing and you stop for gas. I hope there's a homeless man outside, you know what I'm saying? And he walks up to your mother and sticks his finger in her mouth. Okay? His dirty, decrepit, 12-year-old homeless finger just takes it and just whips it and puts it right down her throat. And then walks away. No harm, no foul.
Ooh. Well, I started my channel in 2016. And I think my first ever paycheck was like £70 or something. And I was so excited. I was like, damn, I'm rich. This is the best
70
day ever.
racks.
And it was maybe, do you know what? Not that long after that.
Okay.
It was a few months in. And I was like, okay, I'm starting to, there's a bit, I mean, it wasn't money that you could live off.
Sure.
But at 19, well, I've got a job. I live at home, 70 quid, brilliant.
Yeah. So when you got that check, are you thinking, all right, I'm now doubling down on this. This is the path.
Yeah, it also was my parents. My mum said to me, she was like, you absolutely can do that, but you have to try your absolute hardest.
Damn, like, come on.
You have to put everything, every fibre of your being into this if you want to do that. And I'll support you. You don't have to pay rent. You know, you can live here the way that you do now. You don't have to stay in your job. And so that's what I did.
How supportive.
Hella supportive.
Honestly, I'm very, very grateful that I've got parents that think like that.
I mean, all right, we have to stop for a second. I mean, clearly you've done well. but think about it. So this is 20.
2016, 2017.
2016, 2017.
Yeah.
So at this point, who is the YouTube model? Like, who is doing very well that you could bring to your parents and say, look at this person, I could do this?
Probably Zoella.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
She was kind of like, that was kind of that
Amaze
era
Ball,
of-
especially a female
of who I would
queens.
watch. Yeah.
I mean, you know, I think everybody has like these inflection points in life where you could see it was this moment that changed your life.
Yeah.
That moment clearly changed your life.
Yeah.
Because with their support, you then quit your job,
Yeah.
your full-time job.
Yeah.
And then what did you do?
I just started uploading more, and I then was like, okay, I'm going to do my EP. I produced it all myself in my little room in our house, and all I did was that I didn't eat, I didn't sleep, I didn't speak. I just sat there and I learned how to do it, and I produced the whole thing, which now listening back, you can very much tell. But it was
a good starting
It was having
point.
that extra time, like not working on the weekends and not having school, and like that suddenly I was like, oh, I've got all this free time to now actually put everything into this career and this thing I want to do. Let's just go.
Let's just do it. She said, Tough Decisions is the EP.
Yeah.
Was the idea to try to get a record deal from that?
I think probably there was always in the back of my mind at some point I want a record deal. That was the dream. That was the goal. That for every new artist, that is always the goal. Like, oh my God, I want to be signed to a record label and have this team around me. But I don't remember the active pursuit of it. I just remember thinking like I'd come out of a really bad management situation. Tough Decisions was about that. And I wanted to just put out music that was intrinsically me, with no third party, no one mixing, no one mastering, no one producing, no one doing the PR, no one doing the music video that wasn't me directing, or like
Just me
I was
spitting
so
that hot
hot
shit,
on the
nigga.
control that I think I was just so focused on that period of time I didn't even think about what might come after it.
So you said you had come out of a bad management situation.
Yeah.
So what was that management situation?
So I had management when I was, again, 17, 18, after Brit School, that just were nasty to me, so horrible. Once we sort of realised we had different opinions on how I wanted my career to look, you know, I've got an email from them where they just ripped into me, literally slated me, everything about me, the way that I spoke, the way that I looked, the music that I made, and essentially tried to just tear me down so that I didn't leave. I was saying, I think I don't want to, you know, be in this situation anymore. And they essentially were like, you're lucky to even have this opportunity because of X, Y, Z. You're not good enough, essentially.
Okay.
And the last line of the email was, we're going to have to make some tough decisions.
Damn.
Which is where the name comes from.
There you go.
Yeah.
Throw it back.
I was
at
like,
them.
brilliant, thank you.
Yeah. But I could imagine, though, how tough this moment is. Because here you have a management company. So I think when everyone signs to a management company, they think their life is
Oh
going
my
to
God,
change.
yeah. I was so excited.
And that's not happening. Life is not changing. You're at home.
Yeah.
And then also with the Brit School that we haven't talked about is there's some incredible alum
Yeah.
that have come out of the Brit School.
Truly.
And you must be almost doing the comparison,
Yeah.
right?
100%.
So who's some of that alum that came out of the Brit School that you had in your mind as you're trying to develop your career?
I mean, I was a big Amy Winehouse fan, and obviously she went there. Adele, Leona Lewis, Jessie J, like there's some great voices.
Amy was a
and careers
banger.
that have come out of that
Amy
school.
was a banger.
And also comparing to everyone else at the school and going, oh, who do you think's going to make it? Who do you think's going to be the next? I remember seeing a girl called Rachel in the year below me and thinking, she's sick, who is now Ray.
Oh, wow.
And,
Oh,
you know,
shit.
I went to a show of hers with like 30 people there and thinking like, this girl is unreal. And everyone
That's
was
cool
whispering
as
about her.
hell.
And you're like, who's whispering about who? Who's going to have the next career? Who's going to be the next this and that? And like, it was as incredible as it was. There was a lot of comparison, I think, as well.
Yeah. And also, I would imagine television, because I think that there was the creation of these pop icons.
That the
you know, in
evil
UK
eye in
at
that
time.
building
Like,
had
we
to be
Cher Lloyd on.
crazy, Chad.
Oh, Queen. Yeah.
Oh, really? You looked up to...
Oh my God. Her audition changed my life as a child. That shaped so many girls in the UK that wanted to be singers. It was like when I auditioned for the X Factor when I was little, thinking I was going to do that, I was like, that's what I want to do.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
So getting that letter from those nasty people, right, and saying we have to make some tough decisions, you just threw that back, created your EP. Mm-hmm. Well, how well did the EP do?
I was shocked. My first single did over 1 million streams on Spotify.
Damn.
And that was shocking at that time.
How did that happen?
I don't know. It kind of blew up on SoundCloud a little bit.
Okay.
But it was the first thing I'd released. I had no team around me. At this point on YouTube, I think I'd released a single just before I posted my first video. So I'd started blowing up on Twitter a little bit.
Okay.
And then posted the single and it just started doing well. And I was like, oh my God, it's got over 100,000 streams. Like, these numbers are ridiculous.
Right.
I was hoping for 1,000 because that's when you can see the number on Spotify. Otherwise it says the less than sign and then 1,000. I was like, I just want to beat that.
Yes.
Then I've made it.
All right.
And that
For
shit
someone
said a
who,
mil.
yourself, who
Like,
loves
what the fuck?
the
Nigga, that's
analytics,
insane.
you must be able to point to how that single did so well. Like,
Do you know what? I genuinely don't know if I can.
really?
It was just an accumulation of luck at that point. It was that, like, I'd started taking off a little bit on Twitter. It got into the algorithm on SoundCloud. It kind of got into the algorithm on YouTube, and they all just totted up together. It was just pure luck.
Wow. How did that feel? You know,
God.
to see that happen.
Gassed. So excited. Could not believe it. I was like, I've made it. I'm done.
I feel like you probably can't point to that because I wonder how many the first one got to, the second one got to, because it's like, if she can't point to it specifically, there's got to, like, that's probably why she can't point to it, because she's like, I did try to, like, do and manipulate certain things the second time around and it didn't work out the same way. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't know. I feel like that's definitely how a lot of things go in life, bro. Like, especially when it comes down to, like, stuff hitting the, like, you know how, like, the way you live, like, you have, like, different bubbles or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's certain things that you are, like, so into, but, like, your parents or, like, even someone who's, like, the same age as you that just has completely different interests. Like, there's just, I don't know, you just live in your own little bubble, you know what I mean? And certain people, you know what I'm saying, they kind of mesh into your bubble, but not everybody or whatever necessarily goes into your bubble. Okay? You understand what we're saying? So, in that sense of the things, there probably is. Everything's, like, on a spectrum. Like Miss Mara. Let's go back.
Bye everyone. I'm off. Yeah, I was so excited.
Oh my gosh. How did your parents feel?
Excited. I think also just like, they didn't get it. They're like, what is going on? I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm starting to get a following from social.
I don't know.
The song's starting to do well. Like, there was literally no one single thing that made that moment happen. So it was kind of a bit like a minefield. It was just the algorithms were just working for me at that time.
How much you get for a million
right,
streams?
all right.
Like 10K?
Life feels good. How much money are we making at the time?
Oh, like nothing. Very, very not much at all.
All right.
Yeah. I think overall my whole EP might have brought me in probably under £1,000.
Damn.
Okay.
Yeah. I did not know how to monetize music properly. I didn't know what I was doing.
Okay.
I don't think I even registered it to like the PRS Foundation at that point. My mum was trying to help with all that stuff. She was like, you need to do this and this. She went on a little music course, bless her, to try and help. But it was a minefield.
Right. Was she thinking, or were you thinking, okay, let's get management, let's do all that? Or no, you're thinking, I'm just going to do this on my own?
At this point, I would have loved it, I think. Like, I was not closed off to the idea.
Okay.
Because my EP was out, and I was like, I've set my tone now. If someone wants to come in and finesse it, fine. They can't change it. It's too late to change it because it's out. But I didn't have an active, like, I must get XYZ on board. I have to do label. I have to do management. Because I'd been scorned a bit from my previous management, I just wanted to see how it went.
That's dope.
All right. You see, it seems like a lot of your
So
work
first
comes
drop
with
on
a
my
message.
own type shit with the
Because
option.
not all, I feel like not all artists have a specific message to what they do, but you have a message around your work.
Yeah, I feel like as much as I always say I'm an emotional person and I'm an open book, I'm not. I often don't talk about that kind of thing because I'm emotional and like I can't just have a conversation about something upsetting or sad logically and just have that conversation without being emotionally distraught and wrecked. So I just avoid it. I just avoid any conversation like that where I'm going to be super upset. We just under the carpet, bye-bye.
Yes.
So then, okay, let's write a song so that it's out there. And like, I then have told everyone, having a bit of a hard time, but I've done it with like a chorus instead of actual words.
Yes, you just kind of move on real quick.
Yeah.
Pass it. You know what's interesting is that you've even
See, I
used
feel like
that
that's my
technique
problem.
with me
I don't move on
here.
fast.
Oh, really?
Yes. Is that whenever there was a topic, so take, for example, the bullying that was happening to you as a young child, immediately what I saw you do is you would smile
Yeah.
and make a joke of it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's me.
Yes. So that you could quickly move on and not feel that impending emotion of sadness or fear.
Yeah.
Right. So
See, this is like some scary shit right here, bro. This is like some shit. It's like very cool, but it's like it's only cool when you're like very self-aware. And holy shit, can sometimes talking to a counselor really, really fuck you, dude. Oh my god. Especially if you don't have them there too to like draw you back out of the dark thoughts now that you go through of them being able to point out all of these things. Because then you start to think of yourself like, oh shit, what else have I just laughed off? And now you have to like open back that shell. It's like in life, if you've ever tried to like, have you ever like tried to fix something and then you realize that like you did that thing that you're trying to fix because there was something else that you were avoiding, and then you realize that thing you were avoiding or whatever, you know what I'm saying, because of that thing you were avoiding was because of another thing that you were avoiding, and then it just keeps getting deep and deep and deep in there. It's insane. It's an insane world.
So I'm just curious, in your day-to-day life, right, even to this day, do you ever just sit in the emotion?
No, I absolutely do not do that. Do I? No, not really. I think I might have a moment, like it definitely gets to me, like I'm a crier. The whole internet's seen me cry. Like, it's not that I don't feel it, but I hate that feeling. I mean, not that anyone enjoys it, but like I hate that feeling so much. I feel like as soon as I have a moment where I feel I can get out of it, I grab it and I run.
Right. But what is it that you hate about the feeling? You know, so for example, a lot of us feel distraught when we feel fear, right? And then I say, okay, but if you can get a get out of fear card moment, so you grab it and you run, then that means you never sit in fear.
Yeah.
And you don't fully know what fear feels like.
Yeah.
Now, is fear a good thing?
I mean,
oftentimes
I feel like
it's
it depends.
bad,
Yeah.
but many times it's good.
Yeah.
Fear can save your life.
Yeah.
You know, it can save your life, but you have to know how to recognize it.
Yeah.
So then how are you then teaching yourself to recognize these emotions?
I think I'm not.
Yeah,
I think
that's
what
why
I do is
that's why I'm having them so riskily. God damn it.
No one else reacts as heavily as I do, which means I'm overreacting. So as soon as I can stop overreacting, I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's you just telling yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I'll just have a moment where I spiral for a bit and then I get to the end and I go, whew, that's enough.
That's enough. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Those are the best spirals, I'm not going to lie.
No matter how much you plan, sometimes a date just doesn't go the way you imagined.
I swear it's fine.
Maybe you pick the worst seats at a gig, ones that are so bad you can't even see the stage. Or you thought that live drawing class would be
never
fun.
own up to anything.
Until you realized the model was a very nude, very old man. Yeah, awkward. But you know, dates don't have to be perfect to be great. Because if you're with the right person, even the hiccups become part of the story you'll both laugh about later. And that's what Tinder is all about, and a sponsor of this podcast. You might think it's just for hookups, but in fact, on Tinder, a relationship starts every 3 seconds. So forget about planning the perfect date and just pick the right person to go on it with. It starts with a swipe. Download Tinder today.
Swipe me, bitch. Yeah. Tell your
right.
bitch to swipe me, nigga.
Can we talk about a boy? All right. So you were how old when you met your first boyfriend?
My husband was my first boyfriend, so 20.
There you go.
Yeah.
So at 20, do you feel as if you're behind, or you feel like, you're right on time? I've arrived now.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
I guess I did feel somewhat behind in the sense that the conversations my friends were having, I would sit and laugh and like, hee, kiki, whatever, not joining in. I have no valid input in this conversation whatsoever. I've got zero experience.
But was it?
Nothing. You guys, this sounds like a wonderful time. Brilliant.
Damn.
But I still wasn't looking for it. I still had no particular interest. Like, I've been on a few dates here and there.
But you no boyfriend.
No.
Right? Because I'm imagining also you've not approached anyone, definitely.
No.
Squeeze me.
Hell no.
No dating app.
No, like absolutely not. That was like my worst nightmare. Oh my God, seeking it out? No chance.
No, but I would imagine, though, Talia, folks have slid into the DMs.
Yeah, was not even like, do you know what? I think I was so not interested. People would pursue and I wouldn't even know it was happening until it was to the point where like they'd lean in and I'd be like, that is not what I thought this was. Like, I have been bamboozled. Yeah, no.
Okay, no. So then what turns it all around when you met Simon?
I don't know, but it was just different. Like, I pointed him out to my friends across the festival.
Okay.
Which I've never done before. Like, they all looked at me and they were like, all right, okay, why don't you go talk to him then, babe? Because this is new for you. And I was like, absolutely not. I'm not going to go and speak to a boy. No.
Can we even back up a little?
Will this be uploaded?
This has never happened to you.
No.
So this is
Renix, I'll think about it.
This is big. So you're at a festival.
I know.
You spot him.
Bitch ass nigga. God damn.
And
Go
when
handle
you
your
see-
business,
what's
bro.
the feeling?
Like, stop acting brand new and you come over here. You see, we trying to get our lives together. You know what I'm saying? Going through therapy and shit. We over here trying to go through therapy and shit. And this is what you doing? This is what you bringing everybody into? Like, god damn. Like, of course, you know what be happening. God damn. My God, let me get my zen back on. Holy shit, you just like knocked me out my shit, bro. You see, we was really getting into shit. Shit was about to get deep as fuck over here, bro. Oh my God, now I gotta get a fan of light and shit. God damn, over here trauma bonding and shit, and you over here talking about something I gotta go. Like, what the fuck, where the fuck you gotta go, nigga? What the fuck you got going on a Friday? Like, shit, bro. Let me just get my light together, bro. We gotta relax and shit, nigga. Now we gotta run it back. I gotta let them I gotta get the build up back in and shit.
Speak to a boy? No.
Can we even back up a little bit? All right, because this has never happened to you.
No.
So this is big.
Yeah.
This is big. So you're at a festival.
Yeah.
You spot him.
Yeah.
And when you see, what's the feeling that comes over you when you see him?
I just was excited. I was like, he's cute. I like him. I want him. Oh, that one. Yeah, I don't know. It was just like I just had a positive feeling and I was like, I just really want to talk to him. Like, he
That's
looks
fire.
cool. He looks interesting. Like, at that point, didn't know we had any mutual friends.
Okay.
And, you know, maybe because people at this point, he was a YouTuber. So not on the side of YouTube that I'm on. I was on makeup at this point and he was doing FIFA videos. So like, but maybe I'd seen him, who knows? Because it is unusual to just look at someone and have that kind of like, hang on a minute.
Yes.
Especially when I'd not experienced it before. But I didn't think I knew who he was.
He definitely did look
I'm
interesting.
adamant.
Because that was when he was in the
idea.
Mohawk days, wasn't it?
Which is fair, because you're right, because you could have seen him in
Yeah.
passing.
He was hawking it?
Maybe yeah.
And it was like
so maybe that's what it
platinum
was.
fucking
And
blonde.
then later on, maybe an
Or
hour
white.
later, a friend of mine came over and went, oh my God, like, hey, like bumped into us. Let me introduce you to my friends, and pointed over to the group. And I was like, you're friends with the boy. You're friends with the boy. So introduced us. And I just remember thinking, I'm really struggling to make eye contact. I was literally like looking like this. He's like, hey, you're right. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm good. How are you? I was like, oh my God, it's all of the masking suddenly was just like, I'd lost any ability to do it.
Jesus Christ.
And yeah, we then spent the rest of the festival together, like as a group.
Can I ask too? Is in those early moments that day, right? How did you?
She meant interesting.
Tyler, like get over the feelings, Paul. Get over the feelings. But how did you feel? Like, what were the emotions?
I'm not gonna lie, like
I was giddy.
Is anybody else like this has been fucking with me this entire time, bro? Like I really haven't been able to like get past this shit. But like, why the fuck are these pictures not even? You know what I mean? Like, for what reason did they do this to us? You know what I'm saying? And then why are all of these objects at different heights? Like is it the room? Is the room crooked? Is the camera crooked? Like I don't understand it. How come for some odd reason is there a bigger plant on this side than there is on this side? Like why is that? Like you see this? Look at the gap between these two pictures. Look at the gap between these two pictures, and the height difference is lower, and it's closer than these two. It's like going downhill. It's really fucking with me. I can't lie to you.
But how did you feel? Like, what were the emotions? What were the feelings?
I was giddy. I was very like, like what I saw all my friends doing when they were talking about all the boys that they were talking about.
Yes.
I was like, oh, I'm doing that thing. I'm doing the like hee thing. Because like I said, I'd been on dates, and like I'd been on a few dates with the same person. Sometimes I'd been on like 1, 2, 3 dates, and I literally would come home and be like, Mum, I just don't get it. Why do people do this? Like it's boring. And she was like, well, you clearly like them because you keep going back. And I'm like, I don't really, to be honest. I'm just this is what everyone else does, so I'm just doing it, but I'm bored.
Damn.
And then met Simon, had like just one conversation. I was like, this is the thing that people talk about, this feeling, this excitement, this like, I want to keep talking, I want to listen, I want to hear what you have to say.
Yes. So that was the first time you ever had butterflies?
Yeah. Genuinely though, I'd never had butterflies in my life over anything.
Wow.
I don't really experience butterflies. It's very rare that I get them.
So then what about the emotion
Come on, side dog.
made you want to go forward? Because sometimes when people experience these things for the first time, they retreat.
Well, no, I suddenly turned into this like very confident,
like, what's up?
persistent human being.
Okay.
You want
I
to see
think
me
I was just
pack
so
Salah?
shocked that I was capable of feeling this, that I was like, this has to mean something.
Good.
And so that night, we all went to the casino together, like, all like, laugh, went home, nothing happened. And I remember that night, I was like, oh my God, I am going to do everything in my power to find out how to speak to this boy. And so I followed him on Twitter.
Okay.
And made like a tweet that was clearly he would know was about him, but no one else would know.
Okay. What was the tweet?
It was something like, it was the day after. It was something like, oh, I was meant to wear these shoes today, but someone last night told me it wasn't a good idea, and now I'm regretting it. So it was, he would know. Literally no one else in the world would know.
Okay. So, all right. Can I get into the mind of Talia?
Oh, yeah. Again, strategic.
Yes, I was going to say, you were plotting this out.
Yeah.
So you probably even plotted to follow him at a certain time.
Yes. Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so what was the right time?
So, well, in my head, I was like, well, I know he had like, I don't know, 3 million followers or something at the time. I had 100,000.
Okay.
And so I was like, well, if I follow him, he's not going to see it. So I have to wait until like middle of the day when there's like, he's not asleep, followed, tweeted.
Immediately.
Yeah.
So he gets the notification on both?
Yeah. Immediate follow back and response.
Oh.
And I was like, I'm in. I've done it.
Oh man, you're OG out here, Talia. OG, man. So so what was the response?
The response was like, he either sent it to me in my DMs and was like, oh, are we blaming me for this or something like that. Like he clearly knew the truth.
There has never in my life been one time where like anytime I like specifically try to plan out these strats like this, it never works out. It never works out. You just gotta hit the follow up text, you know what I'm saying, after about an hour of being at the crib. and it just works. But these things just don't. These things never hit for me. It's definitely a everybody thing, because me and the homies be stratting up. We be like, all right, bro, nah, you can't hit her right now. You gotta wait a little bit. You gotta wait a little bit. We over there talking, everybody dapping everybody up. God damn, nigga, you did what? What you did? Tell me about that shit. God, tell me about that shit. Everybody, he talking about that shit like, God damn, nigga, we got in the car, shit, we chilling. we got something to eat, blah, blah, blah. We talking about the shit, and he like, you know what I mean, bro? This shit might be real lit, for real. I'm trying to figure out when to call her next. Nigga go in the other room, get on speakerphone, calling her and shit. It'd be lit. We over here whispering shit, sending messages like, say this, nigga. Say this. Don't say that dumb shit. Nah, but yeah, my strats never work. I don't know why.
It's about him. He took the bait.
He did.
He took the bait.
He did. All right.
Yeah.
So he took the bait. So now what's the next move?
So now, this is when I suddenly became this confident human being that I'd never been before. And I essentially was like, I think I was the one that said, like, are you going to take my number? When are we going to go out? Or something like that. It was like, when are you going to teach me FIFA? I think I said something like that. Like, so cringe. Also, no interest in learning FIFA whatsoever. And it kind of, we just spoke from every day. From that moment on, we spoke every single day.
Every day.
Every single day.
All right.
Yeah.
Can I ask this too? This is very important. I'm tracking this. This is an internal study.
Yeah.
Okay. Your first date
Yeah.
was where?
I don't know if you class it as a date,
Okay.
but we'll go for it.
First time that you saw each other after the festival.
Yeah. So we had a mutual friend's birthday that he was like, why don't you come to ours before? I'll pick you up from the station and we can
Pre-game.
go together to this party.
Okay.
And I was like, okay.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Do you know what? Part of me thought it was it. Genuinely.
What was it?
As in, like, that I was like, this is, I found it. I'm like, I found him. This is the one. This is end game.
From day one.
From day one. Because I'd not experienced it before. I remember I came home and I said to my mum, I was like, I've met a boy, and her jaw hit the floor. She literally was like, what have you just said to me? Like, there's no way these words are coming out your mouth. If you'd have told me to bet one way or the other, I'd have probably bet on it.
Oh.
That you knew he was the one.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the $1 million question.
Yes.
All right. How long did you anticipate you would be together that day, that first day, versus how long did you end up staying together?
Oh, that's a good question. I thought we'd just go to the party and I'd go home.
Okay.
Because, one, I didn't want to give any impressions that anything was going to happen because I was big no-no. But I stayed over, and it wasn't anything like that. I was literally like this next to him, fully clothed, like, oh my God, terrified. Like, please, this is not why I'm here. I just don't want to leave.
Jesus
but yeah,
Christ.
we spoke the whole party, and then until the next day. Until I think we went to sleep at 8 a.m.
So you were with so you thought you would be together for a few hours.
Yeah.
You were with each other for a day plus.
Yeah.
All right. Talia, I got scared for a second. I thought you were going to break my study. You have supported a study that I've been doing, just personally, where 100% of couples who have met the person they think is going to be their partner and then end up in a committed relationship, marriage, etc., they completely, entirely break the rules on that first day together. Entirely. My wife and I did it too. We thought we'd be together for a few hours.
Yeah.
And then you break your, see?
And the reason why is because of what you said, is that I just don't want to leave your side.
Yeah.
And it be happening, bro. It be happening. That's why I be like, because people will tell you with like the most sincerity in their fucking whatever. Like when they'll tell you and be so serious about it, bro. And they'll think that it's so true. They'll be like, no matter what, this is what happens. Like I'm leaving at this time. Go to dinner. We're not doing anything else extra. Blah 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 blah. And then we're progressing. And you just, I'm like, bro, you never know, bro. Like you can meet somebody and be so about like beside yourself on what ends up happening. Like do things you've never even thought you would do or be into. You'd be like, what the fuck? Well, shit. All right, let's go for it. You said, oh goddamn, I thought he was gay. What do you mean you thought he was gay? How does that even make sense? Oh, see what it is, because these Scottish niggas, they don't be in tune with themselves. I hope Aaron chokes and dies tonight. I'm just kidding. In game, Aaron. That was crazy. Aaron, listen, I'm sorry. Aaron. Aaron, what the fuck, dog?
Like, do anything. I just so adore being with you that I don't want to be with anyone else.
It's because you haven't been. You haven't had your person.
This is
yet.
what
That's
you're
so
saying.
interesting. Yeah. That's literally what happened. I thought it would just be a party. I'll go home.
So there you are together, laying there like
Literally like a sardine, terrified. Like, just so you know, nothing is happening.
Can we explore this a little bit?
Yeah.
Because I would imagine you've not had sex.
No.
Okay. So here you are, first time with the boy you like
Yeah.
at his place,
Yeah.
in his bed.
I know. This is why I kept my clothes on fully. And I don't think I'd told him at this point.
Okay.
I hadn't said that I was, well,
Like she
not
had a
that I
cock?
wasn't interested, but I hadn't even alluded to the fact that I might not have had sex before. So I was just laying there, literally like, I want this to be clear, on top of the covers.
Simon was a virgin
You
Viking.
have to stay on top of the
On top of the covers.
Yes.
Trousers, long sleeve t-shirt, like literally I am making it so clear that nothing is happening because I was just not terrified, but I was like, I don't want to leave. He clearly is fine with me staying. Like, it also made sense. Like, it was late. I was
I
tired.
didn't even know that.
Not that like we chatted until like 8 a.m. like I said.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was like, absolutely not. I'm not doing that right now. No.
But he respected that.
Yeah. It wasn't even a question.
Wasn't even a question. All right. So what was it about Simon in those first few interactions, those first few days, that led you to truly fall in love with him?
I never talk about this kind of thing. There was something about the way that he was, my little quirks that people would laugh at me for were coming out. And I had
I meant virgin
absolutely no control
Viking
about
as
it,
in
but I
he
also
went
didn't
and
mind.
took her virginity type shit.
And at no point did he make me feel weird or like I was different. And if he did, it was in
Do
a
you know
good
what a
way.
Viking
It
is,
was like,
Chloe?
I love the fact that you do
Oh my
that.
God.
Or like, it was the little things that people picked on me for that he was like, I think it's funny. I like it.
So would you say that you felt safe with him?
Yeah. Oh yeah, immediately.
Yeah.
And like, especially being 20, him not trying to physically pursue me immediately when he could tell I was a bit closed off was really nice because I'd never experienced that. Every single boy I'd ever spoken to was always immediately on that. And I was like, oh, please leave me alone.
Okay. I think this is very insightful because there's so many people who wonder, am I with a good one? Mm-hmm. Right? And how do I distinguish if they're a good one or not?
Yeah.
Right? And from what I hear you saying, what Simon did
It just
is,
sucks. I'm
one
just
is he
such a
showed
freaky
you
bitch.
respect
Like,
consistently. It
Yeah.
wasn't
I
an
just can't
on-off
hold
respect.
back.
Yeah, no.
He made you feel safe.
Yeah.
And he
you
affirmed
gotta
you.
understand my love.
You know, that's what I
Yeah,
hear.
yeah, exactly. I think with the respect as well, I could tell it wasn't forced. He wasn't trying to respect me. He just was respecting me. Because I think there is also a difference. Like, sometimes I can see people fighting their almost like inner demons.
Yes.
There was none of that. It was just like, okay, well, if you don't want to do that, cool, we try and do that. Like, it's not even a second thought.
Gotcha. But was
That's
there
dope
any
as fuck.
concern, though, because he's a member of the Sidemen?
Yeah.
Right? So at this point, he is already relatively well-known, would you say? Or
Yeah.
well
Very well
I mean,
known.
3
So
million
he's very
followers.
well known.
Shit.
Yeah.
Massive following,
Yeah.
right? Is he
Rich as
living,
fuck.
'cause at the Sidemen we're all living together.
Yes, they lived in the house together.
So they're all living together.
Yeah.
So you were in the house.
Yes. And let me tell you, I had never seen a house like that in my life.
What did the house look like?
It was a mansion. Like, I mean, you can see it online. Like, they showed their house that they lived in. And I remember he picked me up. We drove in the gate and I was like, how do I act normal? Because I have literally never in my life seen a house in person that looks like this.
Because of the size.
Because of the size. I was like, oh my. So I was like, oh, you have a very nice house. I was like, because I don't want to not say anything, but also I don't want him to be like, geez, like, relax. Like, it's not that deep. So I was just sat there and I was like, oh my
He would
God, I'm
definitely
in
say
over my
that.
head.
And so everyone's living in the house.
Yeah, 4 of them, I think.
4 of them are living in the house.
I love that. Like, so, you can just see Mark
I'm sure
losing
you have to factor this
UFC
in
right now. It's crazy.
From what I see from the outside looking in, you tell me if I'm wrong, but is that they all look like they're very close friends.
Yeah.
Right? So they're boys, right? So, you are the girl coming in to a crew that's already formed.
Yeah.
So do you feel like you have to win over the crew as well?
Do you know what? A little bit, but not as much as you probably expect.
Okay.
They're so not laddie. They're so not like boys, like as much as their content, like they love football and they like all these things that maybe typically are very like boy led. They're not what I'd call like typical lads.
Oh.
So there wasn't that. I didn't feel like
I feel like they're all different as fuck.
I didn't feel like I had to like.
They're not like the same. They're not
sort of
7 of the same
point
nigga.
of being like, do they accept me? It was more just like, I just hope they like me because we're going to be seeing each other a lot.
Well, okay.
Because obviously they live together.
Yeah, but you wanted to know that you were liked though.
100%.
Okay.
100%.
All right. At what point did you realize you were liked?
I'm still hoping. I don't know. I don't think there was like one moment that stands out where I went, oh my God, we're friends. But like, I think as I'd come over and maybe we'd all chat in the kitchen for a bit, I'd be like, oh, okay. I think I'm, one of them. I think they've accepted me in the group, but they accepted me very quickly. It was very like, no one was because he'd never had a girlfriend.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Ever. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I didn't know this. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So to like, he'd been seeing girls and whatnot, but he'd never committed and had a like girlfriend before. So to them, they were like,
this is real.
You're calling your girlfriend. Okay, we're going to respect this.
Yeah, this is like some real shit. Like, okay, hold on now. My boy don't act like this every day. You know what I'm saying? That's hard.
So I don't remember the exact conversation of how it came up, but I remember I was getting my hair done. And I was saying to the girl doing my hair, I said in passing, I was like, oh, my boyfriend. And as I said it, I went, oh my God, I've just said that and I haven't even got confirmation. Am I a psychopath? Like, oh my God. And we then had a conversation following that. I don't remember what sparked it, but we both said, he was like, I've been calling you my girlfriend to people. And I was like, okay, cool. Because I called you my boyfriend to my hairstylist and I thought it was a bit weird. So glad we're on the same page.
You're doing
so glad
content
we're on the same
together.
page.
You start doing content?
Yeah.
Okay.
After about 6 months.
6 months.
Yeah.
But once you start doing that content together, I would imagine the world now knows you two are together.
Yeah.
What's the reaction?
The reaction was much better after admitting it than the 6 months where we were a secret, where people had kind of figured out in the background of one of his videos was one of my bags, or one background of one of my videos had the same wallpaper as one of his vlogs. So we must have been in the same hotel room. And like, people were horrible at that point when it was a secret.
Why?
Like 12-year-old girls been like, you've stolen my husband. Like, I hope you die. Like, sorry? You're 12. Why are you speaking like that? Like, relax.
They were seriously coming after you.
Oh, yeah. Like in my DMs on like Tumblr, there was threads about me being this like man-eater, horrible woman that's come in and is going to ruin Simon. And like, because he was known as the single one of the group. Oh, okay. He always did videos about being like the single one with no girlfriend. And like, it was like a running joke. So like him no longer being the single one was a really big thing.
I see.
And I was
the one
destroying
taking
that.
it away.
Destroying
his
legacy.
innocence.
Oh my goodness.
So
it was just a boy.
Came out, I was like, oh yeah, we are. People then are like, oh, this is no fun anymore.
Yeah,
we're not
no
detectives.
cap, bro. Faith is fucking fire. So niggas are on dick.
Before you had come out with, they were coming after you.
Brutal.
They're so fucking good together.
Did anything ever happen? Did anyone ever say anything to you on the street at an event?
No, not not negatively, not that I can think of.
Okay.
People will shout stuff at me.
They would.
Yeah, but not like abusive stuff. It's more just like they'll shout random buzzwords that might catch my ear. Like they might shout Mini Minter's girlfriend or Mini Minter, or like they might say his name just to see if it would spark a reaction with me.
Okay.
Yeah. I imagine people do some weird shit like that
on the street.
Okay.
that I can remember. And I think I'd remember.
All right.
That's good.
It was mainly the keyboard warriors.
Yeah. Online, horrendous.
Coming
In person,
after you.
absolutely fine.
Okay. And you said it was mostly very young girls.
Yeah, very young girls that were like obsessed with him being single, and obviously like because they were going to marry him.
Of course.
Obviously.
Yeah. We all have dreams.
We all have dreams. Some of them don't come true.
But some of them do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because you have a lot more attention, is this, I would imagine there's good aspects to this.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely helped my career. Like and people love to remind me of that. But
Oh, do they?
oh, they love it. But it's true. Like there is no denying that.
Okay.
Like anytime I achieve anything, it's like, well, would you have got this if you weren't with Simon? Being with him has boosted my online profile.
But holy
I'm not
shit,
gonna pretend to sit
that's
here
some
and go,
insane words.
No, being with someone that has 10 million subscribers has done nothing for me on YouTube. I'm not an idiot.
Sure.
So I'm like, well, I was doing all right. Okay. You know, I put my work in, but I can't change the fact that, yeah, I am with him. It did help. So it is what it is.
Right. How does that then impact your work? Your work?
I think rather than impacting my work, I think it impacts how I view my work. Any time where I have any glimpse of, I guess, success that's completely outside of the Sidemen or Simon, I'm like, maybe people will now like believe in me. And then I go on the internet and I'm like, no, no, they don't.
No, they don't.
Because even if that one thing had nothing to do with them, like when I did Stay the Night with Sigala, people will then go, yeah, but would you have been at that point of being able to get into that room if you weren't with him for all those years? And I'm like, well, yeah, that's a good point. I don't know.
But I mean, the talent proves is like steps for self.
So
like,
how
you can
does that impact
somebody can help you get into the door, you know what I'm saying? But can't nobody help you fucking make them goddamn hits, nigga. Can't nobody help you sing on that goddamn mic, nigga. You do all that goddamn work. These dumbass bitch ass niggas. God damn, I be hating people, bro. Niggas be hating.
self-worth?
On dick. Just
Right,
fucking
because a lot of us tie our
throwing that
self-worth,
shit up.
rightfully or unjustly, to the work or what we produce.
Yeah.
Right. So knowing that this is commentary about you, how does that make you feel?
Get off the cock and hammer.
I think it used to really upset me, like really upset
tell
me.
your mom to clip it, bitch ass.
The older
nigga.
I get and the more I realize I'll never know if it's true. The more I'm like, well, it doesn't matter then. If I'll never know, what's the point? What's the point in dwelling? My life is what it is. I'm happy. And as long as I genuinely like the work that I do, that's now what I put value in, because that's kind of the only thing I can put value in now, because it's the only thing I know is my true opinion. Like,
Yes.
do I like this? Yes. Cool. Let's put it out then.
Yes. So then this is interesting, because I didn't realize that was happening after you both had announced that you were together.
Oh, yeah. It was
boyfriend,
on,
girlfriend,
niggas
right?
was on some wild
So I would
shit.
imagine the moment that you announced that you are engaged to be married, that noise probably increases.
Do you know what? I think it had the opposite effect.
Did it?
Yeah.
Good.
I think people suddenly realize, like, oh, because a lot of people also just call me a gold digger.
Damn.
Say that I'm just here for, like, I just want more clout. I just want more money. I just want the lifestyle, whatever. And I think maybe the perception changed a little bit when we got engaged, because they were like, oh, hang on a minute. This is like, you're committing to this. Like, if this is a bit, like, you're fully committed.
Okay.
So although the noise continues, it gets less, I think. Also, the more people see that, like, I'm not in every Sidemen video. I don't have Sidemen in every title that I do. I'm not, like, I could be milking it a lot more than I am. Trust me on that one. I can make a lot more money
100%.
with a lot more of Simon in my thumbnails. And I think the more people get to know me as well online and watch my streams, or the more they're like, oh, actually, like, I think she's genuine.
Right.
I think she does love him.
Right. I find that this, unfortunately, this disproportionately
That's just a
happens to women.
downside.
Right. And also, I would imagine that he wants you to be as successful as possible.
Yeah.
So if that means collaborating more,
Yeah.
I don't think it's disproportionate. I just think that there's just it's just more niggas it's just more famous niggas. Cause like there's a lot of famous females that like they're like their boyfriends or whatever get like slandered. Like the niggas that they end up being with and shit get fucking just oh my God. They're like, this nigga wasn't shit before he got with you, blah blah blah, all types of shit like that, you know what I mean? So I don't know.
Also, it's just your life.
Right. Like, I would imagine this is a minority of the public
that was his point.
that thinks this way, but they're just loud.
Yeah. And they're not as loud.
Yo, Aaron's clips never work. This nigga's trash, bro. Yeah, Aaron shit is dog shit.
Loud as they used to be.
Okay.
Like, they're really not. It's a very small minority now. I'm lucky that it's massively changed.
My name's Aaron.
So
I'm
you two
dumpster can.
are married, right?
Yeah.
Is there any hesitation on your part thinking, oh my God, I'm going to marry my first boyfriend?
Do you know what? No,
Okay.
not even a little bit. I think it was the opposite. I was like, brilliant. One and done.
One and done.
One and done. I don't have to go through the heartbreak that people talk about that seems absolutely brutal. Then I can imagine it would be brutal, because if this ended, my God, it would kill me. But I was like, fabulous. This is the dream. Jerry Halliwell actually said to me, we did a show together, and she was like, oh, how old are you? Oh, he's practiced, babe. I was like,
Oh.
excuse me? And a lot of people would say that and be like, oh, he's your first boyfriend. Like, you get them out of the way. Like, you do all the toxicity, you do all the whatnot.
Right.
I was like, but I'm not experiencing any of these things that you guys are talking about. There is no toxicity. There's no arguments. There's no like big blowouts. I don't feel unsafe. I was like, I think I've just lucked out. It's been good. Especially with the autism, I don't think I could hack the getting to know new people constantly. Oh my God, no chance.
Yeah, and this is exactly what I was going to ask you. At what point do you have the ASD diagnosis?
That was only
said up to
3 or 4 years
Mark,
ago.
what the fuck,
2021.
bro?
2021.
Yeah.
All right. So this is, if we could spend a good moment in this, because I think this is one of these areas that even in the research for you coming in,
Aaron,
I noticed that there's not a lot out there with regard to women with autism or autistic spectrum disorder.
She's got autism.
Okay.
She's not retarded,
So,
Mark. Jesus Christ.
You were diagnosed at what age with ASD?
24.
At 24.
Yeah.
What led to you even going in for that diagnosis? Because you had previously been misdiagnosed with dyslexia.
Yeah. So I, for a very long time, had thought that I was autistic for a very long time. Ever since I learned about it at school, I remember I turned to the person next to me, and we were learning about it, and they were telling us, XYZ is a common symptom, if you want to call it a symptom, common whatever. And I said to him, I was like, everyone does that. I don't really get it. Like, this is just people. And he looked at me and went, no, they don't. I don't do any of that. And I remember thinking like, that's interesting. And I just said, oh, no, I'm joking.
Pissed me off.
Haha, whatever,
I
move
would
on.
have cried forever.
And it just, from that moment, was always a thing in the back of my head of like, every single thing they spoke about there, I massively relate to. But like, no one has brought this up with me. No one's ever said it. No one's ever jested about it. Because I was like maybe 10 at this point. No, like, it's not even been a conversation around me. So I kind of just had that moment, let it go. And then when individual incidents happened throughout the years, that thought would come back and I'd go, maybe this is the autism thing that I was originally thinking about presenting itself again.
Give an example of one of those.
Like, I really, growing up, I never wanted to hug my family. I struggled having dirty hands. Like, I didn't want to touch things. I was really, really oversensitive to sounds, to textures, to light, to sensations. I wasn't good at making friends. I was really bad at eye contact. I just struggled with things that are what people would call typically human traits, that everyone else would go, that's not a hard thing. And I'd be like, this is debilitating. What do you mean? And because of that, fake it till you make it came in, and I just learned to like, okay, well, I hate hugging people. It sends a shiver into the deepest core of my soul, and it makes you feel blindly uncomfortable. But I then was like, okay, I'm just gonna go into a room and say, I'm a hugger. And then I would start the hug. I'd initiate the hug. I'd give the strongest eye contact I possibly could.
God damn.
No matter how horrible it made me feel inside. Because I was like, no one else is struggling with these things.
I see.
And in doing so,
It helped.
I masked and I covered up all of these little things to new people. Everyone who knew me could tell. And they were like, hold on a minute, there's something.
Sure.
Calm it down, bud.
Essentially, what my psychiatrist said was I did CBT on myself.
Cognitive behavioral therapy. Yeah, CBT. Yeah.
So when I got the diagnosis, he was like, there's obviously no cure, but like there is, therapy and there are treatments that can help
Workarounds.
combat the issues that you might face. He's like, but it sounds like you've done this your whole life. You've essentially done all these steps and you've trained yourself to cope with it.
Why do you think it was that you were not diagnosed with ASD earlier?
I think because of the media. I think how autism is presented in the media is not how I am. The things I'm interested in, the things that I do, the way I look, the way I talk. Like, you look at these programs that talk about autism spectrum disorder, and they focus on one specific end of the spectrum, which is obviously the more severe end, which, okay, yeah, people might struggle to communicate fully, like they don't speak until later in life. They have a lot more severe symptoms, again, if you want to call it that I think people forget that it's a spectrum, it presents differently in women. And also, you can have different interests. You don't have to just love trains. People are obsessed with this idea that if you're autistic, you have to love trains or you have to love these really specific niche things, when really you just need a special interest. Music, there
you go. So with the evidence being there,
autistic niggas love a train, bro.
Is the reason why. So
I don't know. She might not be cooking on that one, bro.
More.
She might not be cooking on that one, bro. Autistic niggas love trains.
Was it because you were so great at masking it, or was it something else as to why you were not diagnosed?
I think it was partly that I was masking it, and partly that
I like trains.
No one in, like, even just little things like the amount of makeup that I wore. Like, you never see that presented in autism. Like, people, like the people that play someone who has autism in a movie, they have one specific rigid image of what that person looks like or how they present. And
they got autistic movie stars?
I think my parents and the people around me just thought, well, you don't look anything like that. You don't speak like they do. You don't have their interests. So, like, you can't be on the same spectrum as them.
I see.
When obviously, like, it presents itself, one, again, differently in women, and two, it's a spectrum. Everyone presents so differently. And I was also hyper emotional. And I think a lot of people have this idea in their head that people with autism struggle with emotion and don't have any. And it's like, well, actually, I do struggle with emotion. I have too much.
Okay.
And the empathy, the empathy is strong with this one, doctor.
Of what you're saying with regard to women, this is the one that blew me away in the research for you coming in, is 80% of females with autism are undiagnosed as of age 18.
Yeah.
God damn.
80%.
That's crazy.
They just be like, yo, she going through menopause or something, for real.
To your point is...
She not autistic. That's just some women shit going on.
Masking is one component. Another component is the thought is that if you have autism, it doesn't look like
you, dumb bitch.
It's
her. It looks like him.
Yeah.
Right? But then also in the research, what I found is that it looks as if a lot of the studies that determine whether or not someone has autism are predominantly based on boys and men.
Yeah.
And women were not incorporated into ASD studies until recently.
Yeah, that's wild.
I mean, they just got rights, for real.
But I feel like that's a common theme in medicine.
Yeah. How do you think your life would have changed for you if you had received a diagnosis earlier?
I think I'd have just had that like eureka moment, I guess, earlier, and feeling like a weight lifted and an understanding. Because the reason I went to get my diagnosis was because I started therapy.
Damn.
And I remember I was talking to her about an instance of me being in a club and having a panic attack and leaving. And she kept asking me, she was like, what does that bring up for you? Why do you think you felt that? And I was like, I was overstimulated. She was like, no, but what do you think that means? And I was like, I don't think it means anything. I think I have autism and I was just overstimulated. She would not drop it.
Wow.
See, like, she was over there. She was trying to tap into like a deeper feeling or some kind.
If I don't have a diagnosis, so I was like, I'm gonna go and get this confirmed or not confirmed, and I'll find out something else about myself.
Yeah, maybe she just had Mark syndrome.
I'm just not gonna be able to explain myself, and sometimes I need to just be able to be like, oh, that's this, by the way. We can move on from that. Like it's a moot point. So I think my life would have been just a little bit more, I'd have felt a little bit better about things.
Yes.
I'd have forgiven myself a little bit easier.
Yeah, not so hard on yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did your parents react once you told them about it?
They were just like, yeah.
I feel like the older generation, they just didn't have all this stuff available for them, so that's probably they're not really that open to.
My mum and I were talking
really
about it the other day,
going
and she was
after
like,
it. You know,
when you were a kid, I didn't think
nobody
it.
give a fuck about
but
your
now I look
flights,
back
nigga.
And I'm like, how did I miss that? How did I not think that? Because all the things that you used to do as a child that other children weren't doing. She was like, I just put down to you just being, extremely interested in rules, and you just loved justice, and you just loved following the rules, and like you were just a really good kid. And it's like, no, my brain's just a bit different.
Your brain is a bit different.
It's like I technically didn't really care about that, but it did give me some sort of like
ASD, I think,
to get it done. You know what I mean?
I think this is how it's listed in the DSM, right? Is that it is a disability.
That's wild to me.
And that it's interesting because I think that I
remember I used to
ASD, right, including family members.
Talk to your mom about it, Mark.
I see certain traits and skills as they have super human ability to concentrate and focus and achieve things that I don't think I can.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I definitely think, again, with it being a spectrum, obviously, there's certain points it gets to where life is a lot harder, and things will be harder for people with it, especially at the higher end of the spectrum. But I think even with that, there's moments of I guess moments of beauty and moments of hang on a minute, the way your brain processes that is actually very interesting. And that's got you to a better conclusion than it would have got someone else.
Okay. All right, it's fair.
It's fair. Basically it's working.
For everyone now who is in a space, especially for young girls, who feel as if they have some of these traits and these characteristics that you were talking about, are not diagnosed, your thought is as a parent, as that young individual, to go after the diagnosis?
Ooh.
I definitely think it's so hard in the UK. The NHS is so backed up when it comes to anything neurodivergency, mental health, anything like that. It could take years to get a diagnosis, years to even get that first consultation. But I think there is no harm in trying, because it can just give you answers and it can explain things. And also I think as a parent, it can be overwhelming when you're trying to do something with a child that has ASD and they're not responding how everyone else's children are responding. And it's like, why is that happening? And you start to blame yourself. You start to be like, what am I doing wrong as a parent? And it's like, you're not doing anything wrong. You just need to do something slightly differently.
Yes.
Oh, see, now that's where I would fail. It's because I'm not switching things up.
Did you feel Simon embraced your ASD?
I think because what I said before with me not masking from day one, it was one of the things he liked about me because he had to. If he didn't, he'd have known immediately and been like, I don't like these traits. This isn't going to work. Cool, I'm out. So it's the little things, I think he just finds little things funny. And it's like, oh, haha, that's endearing, that's cute, whatever. That's just Talia. And he's good at knowing when to calm me down or when to be like, okay, let's take a moment. Let's
That's actually
just
dope as hell.
settle for a second. And when to be like,
It's kind of, I wonder if it's like something that you learn after a while of getting, well, like she said, they kind of locked on immediately, you know what I'm saying? And I guess a lot of those traits that people have, it's not really something that you're gonna learn to just completely hide, especially by like 8 a.m. in the morning of having a conversation. So he had to have just locked in and been like, you know what I'm saying, fuck it. And I mean too, I feel like when you get to, how I put this, because I put this bias on all rich people, okay? I think that when you get to like a certain level, you know what I'm saying, like certain things that will bother somebody that's still on the come up, you know what I'm saying, may not bother you because you can put things in place to, you know what I'm saying, make it to where you don't even have to like ever worry about these things. Like when you don't have no worries in life besides just like maintaining your current situation, i.e. like, I just got to keep working, making videos. You know what I'm saying? I know what it is that's going to progress me in life and put food on my table. I don't got to, you know what I'm saying, worry about going shopping or getting nothing. I can go pretty much buy anything without looking at a tag. Like when you get to that point in life, you know what I mean? I think relationships are always easier, but finding your person and being able to like understand that it's your person, like the fact that they like locked in like that immediately, you know what I'm saying, and they've been locked in for this whole amount of time, that shit's actually fire, bro. It's mad cool. It's cool. Like if he was where he is right now, double Netflixed up type shit, like if he was right now and then you find somebody, it probably is gonna be a little bit harder, you know what I'm saying, to know if shit's a little more genuine. But the fact that she don't, like she said, she not out here milking shit, she out here doing her own thing, I can respect it in that way, man. I can respect it. She really does like stay in her lane and still out here wanting something for her type shit. When it comes to this fucking music superstardom, we're gonna see. I'm still waiting on this next tune.
right, it's enough.
Okay.
So he can read me like a book.
All right. This is beautiful.
Yeah,
this
it's
is
great.
beautiful. And to your point, the best relationships are the least dramatic.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. And I'm dramatic. So I need someone who's not.
Who's
to
just chill.
take it down a notch.
Just chill.
Yeah.
So then the wedding
Yeah.
must have been spectacular.
Oh my God, best day ever.
Best day ever.
Literally best day ever.
Everyone, family,
Yeah.
friends, everyone.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, so
Right.
good.
All the side men are there.
Yeah.
All right. So it must have been any stunts, anything at the wedding or no?
I mean, yeah, JJ performed one of his songs as part of his speech.
Okay.
Jamie performed. Just took the mic off of the band and just started rapping. And I was like, all right, brilliant. It was very
You
funny.
can't
could
tell
see the
Jamie,
divide
nah,
of
bro.
age in
That's gonna be
in
legendary
our,
shit.
Wedding party when JJ took the mic for his speech and started rapping one of his songs, because half of us were like, yeah, rapping along, and the other
Facts.
half were like, what is happening? This is a wedding. Who gave you the mic?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So a lot of performers.
Yeah.
Did you perform?
So, no, but I was given the mic at one point because I had Sagala DJ, and when he played our song,
Played they too.
someone gave me the mic. I didn't really sing because I was like, the worst thing I can do is sing at my own wedding. Like, I do not want to be that person. That's not why I'm here. There's enough attention on me. I don't need to make it even more about me.
Fair.
So I was like, ha ha ha, stay the night. Okay, please take the mic away from me. But no, I did not perform.
All right. All right, cool. But it was best day ever.
Best day ever.
All right.
Second best day ever.
Third best day.
Second best day
Yeah.
ever.
Fourth best
It was
day.
best day ever.
Finding
Sixth
out
best day.
pregnant.
Fuck it.
So first, can I say, officially, congratulations.
Thank
on
you.
this. It is, for many of us, the best day ever.
Okay, good. That's what I need to hear.
Yes. Did you, and if this is cross the line,
Oh,
tell
no,
me,
no cross the line, open book.
is this a plot and plan pregnancy?
Yes.
This is.
Yeah.
So this is big.
So
Yeah.
we
Because
meant.
you spent your entire life not wanting.
Yeah.
to have a
And then
child.
all of a sudden
Yeah.
they really worked
At
for
what
it.
point
That's
did you
actually
change your
fire.
mind on the child?
So,
Do you guys think it's weird when people tell you that they like working to have a baby? That should be hitting sometimes. I'd be like, what the fuck? Like, why are you just like have you ever had like one of your like close friends tell you like, yo, me and my friends are like, me and my girl are like trying to have a baby? I'm like, why are you just talking to me about you busting in your shorty? Like, go do that shit. I don't need to know right now, gay. You know what I'm saying? It really be crazy. I'd be so confused. Like, why are we talking about this? All right, so sorry for the pause.
I've done some inner thinking about this recently.
Okay.
And I actually think I probably always wanted children.
Aw.
But I think it was my career that made me think I couldn't.
I can
So
feel that.
I told myself I didn't want them. And then I met Simon. We obviously started dating, whatever. And as we kind of got more serious, I was like, hang on a minute. Like, I think I really do want children. And
Yeah.
also growing up, I loved children. Like,
Yeah.
I was always the one to like, please let me hold your baby. Like, at our wedding, I spent the whole
I
wedding.
feel like no matter what, nigga. No matter what. Even if niggas gotta adopt, nigga. Even if niggas gotta adopt, it's gonna happen. Hey. Even if I gotta be 55. We gonna figure it out, gang.
With the kids. Like, the speeches, I've got a child on my lap the entire time.
Yo, Aaron, relax.
She don't relate to me. Like, I love
God
kids, I always
damn.
have. And I think when we sort of got more serious, I suddenly was like, hang on a minute, like, why did I think I didn't want children? I definitely do. And then it became like a burning desire.
Interesting. You flipped into
Flipped.
I
180.
must have
children.
children.
Don't get me wrong, I definitely towed the line sometimes. I'd be like, whoa, maybe not. And in fact, when we had the first conversation, like this first serious conversation about children, I used to joke about it all the time. When we were engaged, I was like, oh, when we have kids, and he'd be like, all right, chill out. And I'd be like, no, when we have kids, it'd be great.
Come on.
And then one day I said it and he went, yeah, I think it is time. And I literally went, no, too real. I left the room. I was like, too real, this isn't fun anymore.
Side dog.
I'm not ready, I don't want to do it yet.
Side dog.
And he flipped the switch on me.
Deciding to become a parent is a big thing,
Yeah,
right?
fear.
Isn't it interesting how immediately
That's so fucking cool.
you become fearful of everything?
Yeah.
What did you become fearful of?
She's a mom.
Just like projecting any insecurities I have on someone else that I'm meant to protect.
Hell
That's
yeah.
scary
Chloe
to me.
wildin',
Yes. Yes. Did Simon express any fears?
No,
No.
none. And I keep
He's like, it's
saying,
gonna be all good.
I keep freaking out, and he's like,
tell-
it's fine.
tell
I'm
her
like,
to
no,
get a dental
join
dam.
me.
Yeah.
I freak out.
I'm willing to bet that his freak out, it will become.
Oh yeah,
It will
I'm
happen.
waiting.
It will happen the moment that your child is born.
Yeah, good.
And
I need it.
yeah, that's when reality is truly going to set in.
Yeah.
At least that's what happened for me.
Yeah.
Is I was, happy-go-lucky, fun jokes until that moment where I saw that little boy.
Yeah.
And I thought,
Oh my God, this is
it's real.
Yeah.
It's real. How do you plan to manage the fact that, you're a public figure, your husband's a public figure.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of interest
Yeah.
in your child.
What the fuck?
How do you plan to manage that?
So we're not going to be showing our child online.
At all?
No,
For how many years?
until they're at an age where they can, their peers have social media. And like, if that's 7, then okay, maybe not. But like, when you're a teenager and all your friends have Instagram, I'm not going to say you can't have Instagram because of who we are, because that's not fair.
I like that.
But as long as there's a conversation that goes along with it of like, things are different for you potentially than it might be for your friends. Let's talk about that.
We about to get you. Listen,
but yeah,
you
we
go,
went
as soon as you
posting,
create
like,
this account,
pictures of
that
them
shit
as a
gonna
baby
blow up,
or
little
vlogs
nigga.
of
All right, you
them.
better be ready for this shit.
That's significant.
Better be ready.
Yeah.
Niggas gonna be on your
What's the
ass, boy.
reason for that?
I think one, they don't get to choose.
As soon as you make this
whether
Instagram, nothing
that
in
many
your life
people
is gonna
see
be
them.
real
They might
again.
Look back and wish
Everybody
that
gonna
their
be fake to
childhood was
you.
private. You don't know when you're crossing the line sometimes with what's being posted. Are you posting a tantrum? Are you posting, something that maybe they don't want people to see?
Yeah, Mark, you
And
gotta be
also
at least
with
4 months,
AI,
bro.
It's terrifying what people can do with images of children.
Oh, what the
and
fuck?
I don't want any part of that.
What the
Isn't
fuck
it
do niggas be
fascinating?
doing with AI?
Your child will have parents
Mm-hmm.
who
What
are
the fuck?
predominantly are known for their
Wait a
social
second,
media,
niggas be
Yeah.
doing that shit?
right? And you will
The
opt
fuck
them
is she
out
talking
of
about?
Yeah.
the thing that creates
Yeah.
really the livelihood.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the dangers.
Yeah.
Because you know the dangers.
Yeah.
So AI is a large driver of the danger behind this.
Yeah, massively. I've seen a lot with like what people will do with images, and also like if they find out what school they go to, they'll know what they look like. They know
Oh, hell no.
what to look for. They know who to look for, and
Oh,
things
hell
like that is
no.
really there's just a lot more that goes into it and a lot more to think about.
Yeah,
stay online, cuz. Don't be fucking weird,
no,
niggas.
no disrespect to people that do, because
hella disrespect,
I
you
love watching
fucking
family channels.
loser.
It's literally my favorite content to consume. Ironically,
not them. I thought she was talking about the weirdo
there's so many
niggas.
that I watch, and I love it, and I love watching children grow up, and it's so nice. But I think I just don't have it in me to partake.
Niggas be ruining
which is fair.
everything, bro.
And I think that's the part of that's parenting, right?
Yeah.
Is making the tough decisions, but you're making it for the benefit of your child.
Yeah.
Yeah. So pregnancy, you know, some people say it's the best time ever. Some people say it's the worst time ever. Where do you fall?
It's awful. And like, I am so grateful that I have been able to be pregnant, and I'm so grateful that I'm able to carry
Nigga,
a
you
child.
went
And I
nuts
know
hunting?
that so many
What the
women
fuck?
would kill to be in the position I'm in. But I think I would be doing other women who also struggle a disservice to say that I'm having a good time.
No, like
It's
that's
been
real.
really rough.
What have the challenges been, you know, in being forthcoming about it?
So I've had a lot of sickness, like a lot of really bad sickness. I've also got, my bones in general are just pretty weak from sports I used to do when I was younger. So I'm in a lot of pain all the time.
Is she talking about
And
skiing?
also just, you know, people say like, these are your last 9 months before your life changes. I'm like, my life changed the moment that test changed. Like, my whole life is different. I have to think about, I'm two people right now. It's not just me anymore. My life has already changed. And don't get me wrong, I know it's going to change tenfold again.
Yes.
But my life is already different. And I think I spoke to my obstetrician about it, and I was like, I'm struggling. Like, I'm having a rough time. She was like, oh, everyone says that. She was like, no one ever talks about it. She was like, but everyone says this. And I was like, what do you mean everyone says this? I've got Lindsay over here saying like, oh, it's magical. I had the best time ever. Sarah's in the corner going, oh, brilliant. What do you mean? What are you getting?
I mean, they
I'm
be
not
lying.
getting, like, it's been tough.
Yeah.
And like, there are moments of like magic, but it's so easy to
Here comes the
forget
Nuns Files.
what you get out of it, especially when you don't have a child. Like, I don't know what it's like to have children. I can imagine the love, and I can imagine, oh, it's I've been told it's this incredible thing, but I know you don't know what it's like until you experience it. So it's like holding on to this imaginary thought that like, I have no idea what it's going to be like.
Yeah. Do you think it is important to normalize this conversation around pregnancy is hard?
Yes. I've had quite a lot of stick online for saying it's hard.
Got it.
I've had a lot of DMs sort of being like, I'm not going to lie, like, I'm getting a bit bored of you complaining now. I'm like,
Damn.
all right, block me.
Niggas
Kick
say
off.
that?
Right.
I'm so sorry that on my page, I've explained my experience of something. Like, I think also because a lot of people struggle to fall pregnant, or like, there's a lot of people who want to be in that position.
People are fucking
that
losers,
sometimes
dog.
you don't feel guilty.
Like,
for
god damn.
almost taking it for
Get off
granted.
dick.
Like, I am so grateful, but it's also so hard, and those two things can go together.
Absolutely. You know what I find so interesting about this conversation
Niggas be
is
stroking,
I
bro.
often only see presentation of pregnancy should be joyous.
Yeah.
It should be a time of bliss. And I remember watching my wife
Yeah.
be pregnant twice. And I saw a lot of what you are describing.
Yeah.
And I think what's
I
to
just
me
can't
what
wait to
seems
like
to be
see
important
me
is
in her, you know?
a normalizing of this conversation so that you don't feel alone
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah.
You don't feel like, is something wrong with me? Because I don't feel good about what's happening. So I think it is actually a good thing. I think you are doing a service to many people by talking openly about how you feel.
If it means that someone else who's also feeling the same way as me, who I know is a lot of people, can sit there and go, oh, thank God it's not just me. I'm like, all right, it's worth it.
Right.
I like that.
It is. It is. When you think about this next chapter of your life,
Yeah.
what are you most excited about in terms of the future?
12 #1 Billboard
I find it really
songs.
hard to like think
Dropping
about
an
things like
album
that.
for
But the thing I'm
Joenojoseph.
most excited about over the next few years
Being a mother.
is teaching
Oh.
someone to exist,
Oh, shit. Okay.
which sounds wild, but like, that's a big responsibility. And
I
I'm
didn't
quite
think
excited
about
about
none of
having that
that.
responsibility.
I mean, that's very profound.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, teaching someone how to exist.
well, yeah. I don't know. I think that's kind of,
That's hard.
that's cool.
That sounds like a
That's
bar,
very
no
cool.
cap.
That's very cool. How much does music and new music fall into that for you?
I think since finding out I'm pregnant, I've realised I care even less about what people think because my perspective has already shifted. So I'm excited to put that into my music, and like the stuff I have coming out is so different to anything I've put out.
Yes.
And I'm excited to speak about things that maybe I've not spoken about before. And also represent being a mum and still doing things and still feeling like I can be cool if I want to be. I don't have to just give up. But if I just want to be mum, that is also fine. And if I want to stop doing music,
It's
then
not
I
for
will.
you, Aaron.
But
Nobody fucking makes anything for
music
you.
is my love.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's the one thing that you will never stop.
Yeah, I won't.
You will never stop that. Just a heads up, this next section includes sensitive topics, including eating disorders. All right, last topic. This is a real quick one.
He does
Plastic
warnings.
surgery.
Why the fuck
Love
you
the conversation about
lying?
this.
Why you always lying? Oh my God, stop fucking lying.
I'll choke you. I will literally, I will come to your house, okay? And when I get done being wined and dined by your mother, I'm gonna come up there and I'm going to throw you out of a window, okay? And I'm gonna come downstairs, go outside, pick up your mangled body, okay? And then after that, put you in a garbage can, okay? And after I put you in a garbage can, I'm gonna go back inside and finish whining, being wined and dined, and then loving your mother, okay? And I'm gonna come back and stream and do a tell-all about it.
I'm an open book.
Okay, because you know, it's interesting
Mm-hmm.
because as you describe your, you know, how you grew up, your characteristics, your
Oh, my
behavior.
bad, a bin.
I wouldn't
I'll
say
put you in a
that
bin.
is someone who would be atypical of then going out and getting plastic surgery.
Yeah.
So at what point in your life do you get plastic surgery, and how many procedures have you had?
So I had a nose job when I was 18,
Okay.
19, young. I was very young. And I'd wanted one from quite a young age. Like, I definitely grew up in an environment where, like, friends, family, whoever it was that was around me, like, I mean, it was the 90s, the noughties, like, looks were something that was quite spoken about and, like, looked down on. And it didn't come from bullying. Like, no one ever picked on me for my nose. No one ever picked
It was just something
picked
she
apart
wanted to
my
do.
looks at school. Like, that wasn't what I was bullied for. I was bullied for my personality.
Damn.
So it came from within. I think it came from looking at other people and going, hang on a minute, like, that, I don't look like that. My mum had one
And you should get plastic surgery.
when she was like
Holy
in her
bitch.
30s, so I saw that as well.
Okay.
She's always been very open as well and been like, if not pro plastic surgery, but very like, if you want to do something, I'll support it as long as you're doing it safely and as long as you're researching and doing things, you know, well. And yeah, so I turned 18, 19, had a nose job, hated it.
Hated it.
Like, at the beginning, I was like, I was just happy it wasn't my original nose. And then as years went on, I started actually getting comments online as my profile grew, your nose is XYZ.
It's so
What
much
is that
worse.
nose on her? And I was like,
Wow.
"See, I've already changed it once. What do you mean?" But
Well,
I agreed with the comments. I'd already thought these things about my nose. And so I ended up getting another one when I was 5 years ago, in 2020.
okay.
And not that I want to convince people to do it, because I absolutely do not, but very happy with the decision I made.
Okay.
Was so much more confident. I could not believe, I looked in the mirror and I remember I was like, oh my God, this is the first time I've looked in the mirror and not cried in a very long time.
God
So
damn.
you met Sam in 2017.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you met him with the nose you didn't like,
Yeah.
right? But you still had the confidence, etc.
Yeah.
Right. But then also too, you said that it was the first time. I know you said it kind of jokingly, but it was the first time that you looked at yourself without crying.
Yeah.
So how did you feel like you looked, say 2017 or 2018 or 2019? How did you look?
I just hated it. Like when I recorded, I'd make sure my camera wasn't facing me so I couldn't see it, because if I caught myself in the camera, it would send me into a spiral. I'd be devastated. I think it all also stemmed around the time that I struggled with my eating, and I think it all just spiraled into one, and I was just a mess.
Oh.
But hey.
Yeah, but yeah, you're here.
Yeah.
But during that time, you said you struggled with your eating. How did you struggle with your eating?
Well, so in 2020, I was diagnosed with anorexia. So I was struggling with my eating in the sense that I wasn't. I'd always struggled with it up from about age 15, I think. And then lockdown hit. No one was around to stop me. I lived alone. Everyone's talking about getting fit, talking about losing weight in lockdown because all they can do is work out. And I was like, this is perfect. No one can police what I'm eating. I just won't eat.
Wow. Fuck.
Not good.
Were you living alone at that point?
Yeah. Yeah, so in lockdown, I was by myself.
Now that
for
sucks.
however many months it was that you weren't allowed to see people.
Okay. That must have been terrible for you.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend. Was not a good time.
You know, with eating disorders, what we're doing is we're trying to manage emotion and feeling through the control of food.
Yeah.
So what was the feeling or emotion you think you were trying to manage?
I think it was just the lack of control. Like, I had no control of my life anymore because of lockdown. So the one thing I could control was my food. And I can pinpoint every single time it got bad, something in my life I lost control over. So either I left my management and suddenly my career was up in arms, stopped eating.
Well,
and up until then, I'd kind of always just teeter on the edge of like being unwell, but
lost
like
weight in lockdown.
Getting away with it.
Oh, for real?
And then lockdown hitting, no one's around me.
I think I gained like
there was no one to stop me, no one
110 pounds
so
in
you
lockdown.
I could just go straight into it and like, excuse the pun, but like feed into the obsession.
Sure.
Of looking a certain way and like not having, like no one's gonna know. And in fact, when I ended up getting help, it was still lockdown and I should have been hospitalized, but because it was lockdown and it was online, I just lied about my weight. I just added on and I was like, they'll never know. They don't need to hospitalize me because no one can physically come and check on me.
Can you check you up? But did you proactively go after the help?
Yeah.
Okay. How did you know you needed to?
So one of the things that used to like really incentivize me was when people would say I looked ill. I'd be like, brilliant. That means it's working. That means I'm losing weight. That means I'm skinny enough. That means I'm on my way to being where I want to be. And people would say like horrible comments. But there was just this one day where I was reading the comments on a video and
I just don't remember these times. Like,
something just
when the fuck would like
clicked.
you know what? I wasn't even around there those times.
What am I doing? I think because I'd
That's
managed
why.
to pull myself
'Cause
out
what the
every single other
fuck,
time.
bro?
I'd never gotten this bad.
People was
Like, what on earth am I doing? I'm reading these comments and they're fueling me and they're awful. They're saying I look ill, like I'm gonna die. They're talking about the fact that I look like I'm literally like a walking skeleton.
fuck.
And I'm like, and I'm enjoying that. And I don't know, I just had a moment of self-reflection that I'm really lucky to have had because a lot of people can't get that. And even if they have that, they can't get to the point of being able to get the help.
Yes.
And so I contacted a doctor, a psychiatrist. I contacted someone and I said, I was like, I know I need help. Like something's gone really wrong here. I don't think I can do it by myself, but like, I don't want to be admitted. I don't know what to do. And they suggested that I move in with Simon at the time. And he was living with JJ. And so I moved in and yeah, I didn't really tell him.
Yeah, I was going to say he must not have known.
No, at the time I kind of like, passing comment, not been eating.
Sup, bandit?
But like made a joke out of it, made it seem not that serious. So he, in my head, wouldn't run away. But also said, we can't have scales in the house. Like, we still don't have scales in the house. Just things like that.
Let's go, bro. Come on, Simon.
That saved you.
Real ass nigga.
Yeah.
Boy, Simon was like, "Oh, say less."
It was bad.
Say less. You need nigga get your little thick out here, man.
How did you actually become healthier? What did you do?
Let me feed my queen,
I had a
man.
program set up for me.
Let me feed my queen,
with like a nutritionist, psychiatrist, like that work together and stuff, and like a anorexia specialist. And I just stuck to it. Like, it was really hard.
That takes some work, bro.
And I still have moments now, either with certain foods or like at that time, like I'd be sat sobbing, like trying to eat, like, because it was just in my head the hardest thing in the world. Like, I was like, how am I meant to do this? Like, and it was a piece of toast, but I'd be like, I've gone months and months with basically no food. So like, now I'm eating stuff with butter on it. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
They're called fear foods, and you have to
it's like the easiest thing to do to try to
fear foods.
Try to like laugh
like one
off
of the ways of like trying to train your brain to be
embarrassment
back to okay
almost.
with eating.
Okay.
Or the struggle.
Yeah.
You know, this is something that probably will not be a surprise to you, but this is the research. Over 1.25 million people in the UK are affected by an eating disorder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
Yeah. GP records showed a sharp rise in teenage girls in the UK developing eating disorders during the COVID pandemic.
There you go.
Look at that.
Yeah. It makes sense.
Why does that make sense to you?
Because the main trigger for an eating disorder is a lack of control in somewhere in your life. And I've always been a control freak, and also always been someone who's cared about my appearance in probably more than maybe most. So those two things go hand in hand. It's a recipe for disaster. Yeah. And obviously, in lockdown, everyone lost control. You know, people were losing their jobs. You're not allowed to go outside. Things that are basic rights that we've had our whole life suddenly were stripped from us. So to lose that control, a lot of people would just turn to like, right, what in my house and in my life can I control to feel some sense of normalcy? Food. It's just like but some people will take it too far.
Yeah.
For real?
You know, thank you for sharing that.
No, it's okay. I mean,
I think it's one of those where that'll help so many people. And also, I think what it does is it tells a story of how incredible partnership is.
yeah.
You know, because I think sometimes we look at partnership and we just look at it as it's just something that you do in life. You just have a partner.
Yeah.
You just get married. But no, there's actual reasons behind our.
Fuck yeah, and all those actions, bro, and then having a good partner, like somebody that was willing, like him, to say like, okay, cool, we're not bringing in no scales, nigga. You know what I'm saying? We're making sure that we're eating square meals. You know what I'm saying? Daily, we'll get this, do what we got to do. You know what I'm saying? And he was there, and I bet from how it's sounding, at least, and how it seems, is that she took the journey alone, but not necessarily alone. Like, he was still willing to, you know what I'm saying, help out shit, but she was trying to more or less get healthy for her. And then being able to lean on somebody in little moments here and there where you're feeling weak, like that's fucking amazing. And then them not necessarily judge you for things, like how she said, like all of the things that she was really like not feeling weird about herself for, he was more or less saying, like, encouraging those little weird quirks and quirky things about herself. Like, I like that. Like, I find that shit funny. It's cute. Keep doing what you do. You know what I'm saying? Keep being you. I like that shit. Like, when somebody else increases your light and doesn't dim your light, like, that shit is fucking amazing. It's like a whole different kind of world, bro. Like, that shit'll have you feeling like on cloud 9, like 100%. Like, oh my God.
For survivability based on partnership.
Yeah.
Our partner literally co-regulates us, reduces stress for us, right? Helps us to thrive and survive. We talked about it a lot.
I don't think there's a stone unturned.
Yeah. No stone unturned.
Literally.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So then you have had some incredible conversations throughout your life. When you think back to the one that is the most memorable, who was it with? And what did you learn?
Oh my goodness.
That's a good, deep question.
When I was little, my mum showed me this quote, and it's something that's stuck with me my entire life. And it's, if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it's stupid. And I don't remember why. I don't remember what the reason was that she said it. I don't remember what the reason was that she brought it up, or if she'd seen it somewhere and she just thought I'd like it. But that changed the chemistry in my brain forevermore.
Yes.
And it's what I have lived my whole life by. And at any moment I feel like, okay, I'm not good at this or I'm not good at this, it's like, okay, but am I just a fish trying to climb a tree? Put me in some water and I'll live my best life.
Come on.
Yes.
Probably that.
That's real as fuck.
You know, I think you've arrived in the water.
Love that. I'm swimming away.
Yeah. No, you are. Because one thing I did not pick up, you know, I feel like online, you're very present online, but you're also fairly elusive online, because I tried to do as much research as possible. Okay. And I didn't get this story online.
Yeah.
I looked through lots of read or watched interviews, and I didn't get this story. And I think that the perception that's presented is that, oh yeah, you know, I'm out here living life, right? But what I've realized through this conversation is that, yeah, you're out here living life, but you've lived life with a lot of pain, and you've been able to manage that pain. And I think what's so important for people to see, and why I cannot wait for people to listen or watch this conversation, is they have an opportunity to see how those two can coexist.
Yeah. Yeah. I think in my everyday life, I preach that, but it's something that maybe doesn't make it online, because people just, I don't know, people take stuff out of context, and
yeah,
it's quite a scary thing to just talk about.
It is. But I thank you for talking about it, because because what truly what people will see is, well, I you know what? Because actually what you're living is life.
Yeah.
We have incredible pain in our life. We have incredible joy in our life. And the key is okay, how do we manage through that pain? That's why you're going to be a great mom.
Oh, thanks.
Seriously.
I'll give it a go.
That's why you're going to be a great mom.
Thanks.
Because in those moments where it counts, and this is your entire life, in the moment where it counts, you step up.
I try. I'll remember that.
You remember that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Well, you know. Thank you.
I'm done. Thank you.
That was fucking amazing. I know why so many people were like, hey, you gotta fucking
Her
chat on
public
it.
persona is different than what we saw here. It's like a rose doesn't come without thorns. It is this entire journey of, I feel fear, but I'm going to step into that fear. You know, she's incredibly resilient. And I think that's a word that we often throw around, I think, a little bit too often. It's the ability to not just stand up in the face of a fear or a pain, but to be able to persevere through that pain and through that fear. And that's what she continues to do to this day. Going into the research for this conversation, seeing that the vast majority of girls with ASD are undiagnosed up through 18 was a complete shock. And to learn that most of the research is based on boys and men was not surprising, but highly disappointing. And this is clearly an area where we need to shine a light on. To have had the ASD diagnosis,
I guess it makes sense though,
that she
but
would
at the
have
same
been
time
more
it doesn't,
empowered
because it's like
as a younger
usually
girl.
women
Who
are the
knows
ones going to
how
the
that would have
doctor more
changed
than
her
niggas.
life.
So
You
I
can't take a
don't really
blanket
understand that shit.
disability label to neurodivergence, I think. And I think it's troubling when I hear that. I think ultimately I see that they are each other's safe space. And I think this is a commonality that you see among successful couples. And the reason why this is so important is because you need to have that safety to be vulnerable. You need the vulnerability in order to connect emotionally. To actually feel safe and you need the emotional connection in order to have any level of satisfaction in your relationship.
Facts.
And all of that
and to be satisfied
requires
and to be able to feel satisfied without the actual like other types of satisfaction. That's just fire. Shouts out to my boy, man. This is fire, dude. This nigga Brunson over here really be speaking. I gotta make sure you subscribe. Shout out to the bro. Original link in the description. Bitch ass niggas.